it's Liz Yuille from Old Staples Crafts. Thank you for joining me again today. Today I'm going to share with you some projects I did with a local WI group last week when you'll be watching this. This is the project that I made with them. I actually made two projects. I will share the other one as well at a different time on a different video, obviously. But I was given strict instructions that I was not to do anything Christmas and that it was to be autumn themed. So this is the project that I came up with. I had no idea what their crafting ability was. I'd never met very many of them before. I know two of them, but that's all. So it was a bit of a challenge. So I did two. I did a single layer, and I did one where you stamp the bow separately and cut it out. I'm going to show you this one, and also the technique I use, which is a real old favourite, but that doesn't mean it's any the worse for that. I used the Wishing You Well stamp set, and this bouquet, the bow and the Wishing You Well, but obviously you can add different sentiments. So I have got in a half stamp ink brain work, a half stamp case, just a baby wipe. It's a single baby wipe that I've just folded in quarters, and I have got three just ink refills. I have got Cajun Craze, pumpkin pie and crushed curry, and all I'm going to do is drop some of the inks onto my wet wipe. And this I generally would say try and do it about 5 minutes before you want to use it, purely because then it has a chance to actually sort of smush up a bit. And we've got a small aircraft flying over. Why wouldn't we? And then finally a bit of the crushed curry. I'm not going to use too much crushed curry because it is a much lighter colour. And with the wet wipe you don't get such an intense colour as you do with just ordinary inks, purely because the dampness of the wet wipe dilutes the ink a bit. So I am going to then put that to one side just for a moment while I show you the kit. And I did actually put these together as a kit. So I've got a pumpkin pie card base, so that's a half sheet just scored in half. A small piece of Very Vanilla, in fact 2 small pieces of Very Vanilla. The dimensions will be on my blog, which is linked immediately below, and a piece of Cajun Craze. And then I gave them a scrap of Very Vanilla for those who wanted to cut out the bow. But obviously we're not doing that version, so we don't need to worry. So let's just fold all this together whilst we're waiting for the ink to meld a bit. So there we go. Right, let's go for it, as they say. So there is my base. I've mounted my bouquet on a long block purely because it means I can actually get in. It does fit on the D block, but then you have to go diagonally and it doesn't fit so well. So the idea is to not move your stamp too much. I'm actually going to try it on my grid paper first. Yeah, that's okay. And it is beginning to, you can see it's beginning to sort of run together. So I'll stamp that off a few times just to clean it off. And then, whereas normally you would bounce up and down a lot, try not to move too much if you do bounce up and down. And then just take your, which way round did I do it? That way. Take your bouquet and stamp it at a jaunty angle. And there you go, and you get that lovely autumnal feel to it. Now I'm going to use the ink that is left on my stamp just to come in at the bottom corner of the liner. Oh no, I'll need to do that again because that's a bit too faint, so we're just going to shadow it a bit. There we are. Just so that it's got something on the inside of the card. I do like having something on the inside of the card. So this, if you keep it sealed, will last a few days. So you can use it again and again. And then I've got my Cajun Craze stamp pad, and I'm just going to ink up the bow. And what's great about this bow is because of the way that it's cut, you can see exactly where you want to put it on the bouquet. So we just stamp that down, bring it up, and it's in the perfect place. So there we go. That will dry back a bit because it's obviously quite dark at this stage, but it will fade back. Then the only other thing that I need is to pull out my Wishing You Well. And I have to say, the ladies all finished their projects. There were really no issues at all. So for a lot of them as first timers, it was a great evening. So ink up my Wishing You Well, stamp it in the bottom corner, and there we go. So of course I've just realised that in the original I used pumpkin pie for these bits, not Cajun Craze, but that's fine. We're allowed to case our own projects. So, and as I've got Cajun Craze for my mat, it's perfectly fine. So, snail. Although I did encourage the ladies to use the multi-purpose liquid adhesive last night, because it does then mean that they've got a bit of wiggle room, and it is of course one of my favourite adhesives. But for speed for this project, there we go. And again, ooh, missed a bit. Pop that on the outside of our card, and then a piece for the inside. Now obviously if you wanted to, you could have your sentiment on the inside of your card rather than on the outside, but I think it's quite nice to have it on the outside occasionally. Now I deliberately gave them two pieces that were the same size for the Very Vanilla. Normally I would use a slightly larger inside, but I thought it would add for less confusion. So there we go. So that's the one we just made. That's the popped up original, and this is the, oh no, I think I did use Cajun Craze, it's just I used an older pad. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Wow, 7.5 minutes. If you don't already subscribed, it's the bottom right hand corner, please do. I am hoping that by my birthday on the 1st of November I might have hit, can't speak, 5,000 subscribers. It would be wonderful if I did. I think it may be a bit of an ask, but one can but try. Thank you very much indeed. If you need any of the information, it's in the links below to my blog post, my online store, all my social media, my crafty hangout, all that good stuff. There's still time to get my October craft box, so if you want that, please do drop me an email. There's information about that over on my blog as well. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye!